Hey guys, this is Paul Bunn with Veterans Outreach, and I want to talk to you today about how to get service connected for a condition and if your condition is actually able to become service connected. Any injury, illness, or disease that you had before you went into the service that while in service was made worse can be service connected. Or any injury, illness, or disease that you had while in service and you were treated for it has the possibility of being service connected. Now, any illness or disease within 364, not 364 days of leaving service can be counted as service connected as well. Now, let's talk about it. Just because you were treated for something in the military, that doesn't mean that you can be compensated, because you have to have a diagnosis of those conditions, meaning that you may have sprained your ankle while you were in the military. You may have, had been on crutches for 2 weeks. But the law is clear. A diagnosis, that is where a doctor says that you have been diagnosed with that knee condition, that leg condition, if it's a presumptive illness, especially like a GERD, allergic rhinitis, sleep disturbance. Now, you have these conditions that I just talked about that are also presumptive illnesses, that if you served in a certain area at a certain time, then some of these conditions are presumed to be due to your military service because of the exposure that you had at that time. But again, they're presumed. You still have to have a clear diagnosis of it. No diagnosis, you're not getting paid. I remember being in a online class one time going through VA law, and I said something, about something's not fair. And the gentleman, the lawyer that was over the class said, Mr. Bunn, let's get something straight here. The fair building is over in your county, and that's where clowns and stuff are at. If you're going to represent your veterans, you better know the law, because everything is law. And that's the truth. The VA cannot award you compensation for anything if it doesn't fit into VA law. So the basics of it is exactly what I just said, is that you have, number one, you have to have a diagnosis. It's not the VA's job when you go to a compensation exam to diagnose you. They're there to look at the conditions that you say that you have, and then to grade them upon the level that they are. Their job is not to diagnose it. So you may have adjustment disorder, major depression, anxiety, okay? But is that related to your military service? If it is related to your military service, you've got to have a clear nexus that points back to service of the reason why it's connected to your service. That is what we call a nexus letter. Let's just give you a for instance. Let's say that you have hearing loss and ringing of the ears, tinnitus, and you want to put in for a condition of adjustment disorder, major depression, or anxiety due to the difficulties you have hearing, which cause conflict within your life, with your family, with your work and stuff like that. Well, you can put that down, but 99% of the time, they're going to turn it down unless you have a doctor that says that this condition is directly related to the military service connected issue of tinnitus, or no matter if it's left knee, right knee, or stuff like that. It's the law, guys. It's the law. So if you want to win your case, lose your feelings that you got, understand that you filed a federal lawsuit and that you're going to court. And the only way you're going to win is when you go in there and you do it the legal way, okay? You got to have a representative that is not going to sit there and do whatever and just fill out paperwork. They're going to tell you the truth. So you've got to be able to, number one, have a diagnosis of the condition. Number two, point back to your military and how it caused it. Number three, if it's a condition that is secondary to a condition such as left ankle sprain. Over time, I walked with an irregular gait, and now my knees messed up. Now my hips messed up. I always give this analogy when I'm talking to people and stuff. So I was in the military and I sprained my ankle. Well, because of that, I walked with an irregular gait. When I walked with an irregular gait, it messed up my knees. When it messed up my knees, it also messed up my hips and my back. Because it messed up my hips and my back, I couldn't exercise. Because I couldn't exercise, I got fat. When I got fat, I got diabetes and heart disease, and I died. But here's the deal. You need to get service connected before it gets to that point. But everything I just said to you, from the ankle all the way up, can be service connected, but you have got to get a nexus letter that says that it is. Without it, forget it, done, finished, over with. You are not going to be service connected. Quit wasting everybody's time. And I know this people say, man, you're hard. No, it's the law, okay? It is the law. Quit listening to all these blogs and junk that they've got out there. People giving these ideas. They don't know the law. They do not know the law. So the law is so simple. They make it so easy for you. The VA system is actually pretty simple, okay? So diagnosis, number one, point it back to your military service. Number two, it was the original injury, illness, or disease while you were in the service, okay? Number three, or was you diagnosed with something within 364 days of leaving service? With all of that, if you want to go in for the big win, you still got to be able to show the Department of Veterans Affairs that that condition is directly related to your military service, and show them on paper with a clear nexus letter from a qualified medical professional that is going to show that that condition is directly related to your military service. It really is that simple. Now, I'm going to tell you this. That doesn't always win your case. But what you've done is you've prepared yourself with all of this to get before a judge if you have to. I don't like going before judges. I can win these cases way before they ever get to that point. I can win them, at the regional office. It's called a merry-go-round that we do. Because when you do go to the full court for your appeal, you're talking 5 to 7 years before that case is decided. So, guys, plain and simple, you want your stuff decided. Quit messing around with it. Quit throwing words out there. Put clear information so that the Department of Veterans Affairs can look at it and do it. And one thing that really bothers me is I'll have somebody tell me, well, my buddy over there got sleep apnea. Well, I don't care. Okay, that's not you. Your case is different than his. Do you have a diagnosis, and how are you relaying it back over to your military service? Every case is completely different. He's drawing 100%, and I'm only drawing 80. Well, you might have went to your compensation exam and fumbled. You may not have done that compensation exam correctly. I've got videos that show you exactly what you got to do when you go to these exams. If you don't go in there prepared, then you're not going to get it. Those people see hundreds of veterans, and you're just another number to them. So the way you put yourself off to them in answering not the questions that they're going to ask, but being prepared when you go in for that examination, being prepared to tell them, do your research and stuff. If you're Veterans Outreach, you ain't got to worry about that because you know that we're going to square you away ahead of time. All right, guys, Paul Bunn, Jesus loves you. Watch this video, share it if you want to or whatever, but understand that these are the facts. This is the law. This is the way it works. And if you're going to do it any other way, then you're wasting your time and everybody else's time, because law for VA is specific in nature, and you either do it that way or you become a loser and you're not going to win your case. Have a good day, man. Jesus loves you. Bye.